first things first, John, like, kids come to you, mom wants to sign up their child, say he needs some mental work, wants to reach their goals. Like, what are some of the things that you typically see when kids come in, and how do you address those? So what are some common themes?
Yeah, some common themes would be, a lot of the confidence, right? A parent, hey, my son is losing confidence. We want him to have better time management skills, right? He's getting distracted easily. And so what we would do to combat that is really peel the onion back and start to say, okay, well, I like to ask questions. I like to get inside the minds a little bit of like, hey, how are you thinking? Like, what are those cruel thoughts that are going through your mind when you're walking to the plate? Similar to what everybody else has said on stage today is like, don't strike out, or don't throw a ball, or don't fail, or being scared. And just accepting those and understanding that it's okay to have those thoughts. And then what we really want to do is we want to be able to lean into giving them a solution to talk to. Like you mentioned self-talk with the Alpine boys, and so we dive into some awareness and then clarity. And oftentimes, just to give you an analogy, is like our mind can get so cluttered up with just bad thoughts, and think of it as like leaves falling off the tree, and it's like we want to come with a leaf blower and just blow them right out and have just a clear thought and keep it really simple. And essentially we're doing simple better, and then we're being consistently and building off of that.
Love that. I'm going to back it up. I started with like the old guys, but I'm going to start with like you and like your own son, because like I've been going through the journey, you're going through the journey a little bit behind me, but like as a former professional player, Division I coach, what are some of the beliefs that you hold on to now that you're going to put into place as you guide your own son in his baseball journey?
Yeah. Such a good question that, I don't maybe have the answer to just yet, because I don't know what he's going to want. But if we were to assume he was going to play baseball and be around it, which he is as a byproduct, then I like to take the approach of use my experience of being around, minor leaguers, big leaguers, Division I athletes, Stanford, Santa Clara, and understand what traits that they've had and that have worked for them, but also what haven't worked for them, and then work backwards and start to lay a foundation for him. And he's only 4, so it's like, what can I do at this age, but what do I want to do moving forward? Is I want to be able to teach him how to respond, right? Because as Jason mentioned up here, and as everybody will talk about, it's how you deal with the failure. And so if this is a game of failure and we fail 70% of the time, or maybe 65% of the time at the lower levels, then we have to think about, are we practicing that failure enough? And we want them to have success. We want them to have fun, because we want them to come back tomorrow. But as you start to get older and older, and you start to kind of realize that you have a chance at this, is you have to be realistic also. And so I want to be able to let him practice failing and having a good response towards that. Additionally, probably the biggest one is when we're coaches, we can't teach athleticism, we can't teach hand-eye coordination, we can't teach bat speed. So at a younger age, we want to be able to teach those things now, so we could use time to compound them and then build on those. So when they do get to a specific age, the coach, who's ever targeted in that, is he can start to fine-tune the mechanics once it's down the road as he's older and more mature.
Sure. So when you personally work with young athletes, like, there's so many great coaches out there. They can coach hitting, they can coach pitching, but you're unique, right? You're looking at the full athlete here. Mind, body, spirit, holistic development of kids. Like, what's your main focus? Like, how do you weave that all together? Obviously, every kid's different, but how do you put together a package that's going to really help the kid leave a significantly better athlete from when they started with you, from when they left?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good question. So a real example, I chatted with a sophomore in high school today, and they said, hey, we're interested in you helping us on the recruiting end, which isn't this age here, but it's about, I said, okay, great. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants to have my experience and my knowledge of being a recruiting coordinator, but you're not recruitable, right? Your product is not good enough for a college coach to come up to you and say, we want you, we want to start recruiting you. And so what I say is we need to work backwards. We need to look at what your product is now, and where you need to get to. So you're 150 pounds, you need to get to 180 pounds. And so we start to close that gap. And so we'll start to focus in on nutrition. We'll start to focus in on time management. We'll start to focus in on daily habits, such as like, how are you waking up? And what's the first thing you're doing? Are you waking up and scrolling on your phone? Or are you waking up with a purpose, and as we like to call it, wake up on offense? And start to change, get in the shower, get your nutrition in, do any extra homework that you need to do, hydrate, like wash your face, brush your teeth, make your bed. The simplest things that could be small victories that will add up over time, and then we be consistent on it. And so that would be like the first start of like, let's start on offense and carry that momentum through the rest of the day. And then you'll be so surprised how silly those things are, just making your bed or brushing your teeth or doing 10 push-ups carries into the rest of the day.
So like a lot of parents out there, they know that what you said is important. Eating right, sleeping right, good habits, good time management. You know that. The kid might even know that. How do you motivate them to actually make it happen? Some kids just are not intrinsically motivated. How do you do that? Do you hold them accountable? Do you have them track?
Yeah.
So if you have like a 13, 14-year-old that's on track to be great, but is kind of missing out on some of those elements here, how do you help them really make sure they get it done?
We'll create awareness. That's when, again, we're creating awareness, giving them clarity. We do track it. So you track it, you can train it, you can measure it, you can manage it. And so we use an app called Habit Share to where we log our habits, those habits that we went through. For this age, I would suggest just a simple piece of paper of, hey, here's a success checklist. We want to do X, Y, and Z on every day of the week. We want to do arm care on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. We want to run sprints Tuesday, Thursdays. We want to do homework for an hour when we get home from school before video games. We want to, brush our teeth by 9 p.m. And then you just track it. And you put a check mark there, or you put an X if you didn't do it, and then you reflect back on it. A good way to frame it is like, if we went in for a test and you got a good grade on it, above average grade, oftentimes you're like, oh, I got a good grade, I'm going to go get another good grade. But what we need to think about is how we got there. What were your study habits like the last 14 days, 21 days? What did you do building up to it? So you track it, you measure it, you become more aware of it.
Love it. What are some of the themes that you're seeing as kids come up these days? Because the times are different, times are changing. We're in a very competitive area with a lot of pressure on kids. Are you seeing any new themes start to arise with kids? I'm talking maybe more mental stuff. Any common threads between players that seem to be holding kids back of nowadays?
It's what we're doing wasn't just created last week. It's success leaves clues, and we can learn from that. But also, this game's been around for so long that what people are doing to have success and what people are doing to fail or feel some stress, it's been around the whole time. And I think we have to pay attention to what's out there. Specifically, themes that are coming up, just on topic, is parents. Starts with the parents, first off, is the parents start to feel some FOMO, some fear of missing out or competitiveness, and they start to compare. And an example would be like, okay, what high school are we going to go to? Timmy's going here, Johnny's going there. What should we do? Who's got a better baseball program in this sense? Who's got better academics? What's going to set them better up for success in college? We want them to go to the Ivies versus not the Ivies. There's just so many non-factors, and what we lose sight of is just being present with our kids and allow them to guide it. And we mirror that effort level that they want to put in. And if they want to go for it, then we should go for it with them. And if they want to play 6 sports all year round, then play 6 sports. If they want to not play baseball, then don't play baseball. But the one thing that it's the comparison is probably the biggest topic is he's trying to compare academically, he's trying to compare athletically. Everybody has their own journey, and parents have to realize that. And then the more that they could echo that in their own household as a parent of just, hey, let's just be ourselves, because I joke, but I don't joke, but nobody cares. You don't lay down at night thinking about other people's kids, vice versa. You're worried about your own kids and your own self as we go through this and what you can do best for your own family.
I find that FOMO, like keeping up with the Joneses, it's not just the kids, it's oftentimes a lot of the parents, right? So like for the parents that are thinking, hey, like I gotta get my kids in with travel or tournament ball early, I gotta get them on this elite track, I need them specialized early, like how do you handle that? What do you say? What are the advantages to not doing that and to have a more balanced portfolio or diversified portfolio of different holistic activities as the kids grow up?
Yeah, it was, so I'll take it from like, once again, if we think it back as I was around college players for the most part, some professional athletes, and it's what do they do well, and let's work backwards. Well, if you want to continue to play, then you have to be good. And if you want to be good, then you have to improve your skill set. And in order to improve your skill set, athleticism, hand-eye coordination, body control, mind awareness, building good habits is how you start to have separation. And so we want to be able to build on that and just keep it athletic and keep it fun, knowing that in the end, you work your own journey, and if you're good enough, you'll keep playing. And if that means high school baseball and you have a great time, then that means high school baseball. If that means college, professional, draft, major leagues, then that's what it means. But it's really hard to predict the future. All we can really control is to be prepared for it.
Cool. So your son hasn't experienced Legends yet. Hopefully he will down the road. But from the sidelines, obviously we've kept a relationship. We follow each other on social media. You've kind of seen some of the stuff that we do. What is it about Legends that you think is unique as far as supporting young athletes in their journeys?
Yeah, he hasn't attended the camp yet, although I've been present for several of them, just sharing the same field or being around, going on a walk and seeing it. And the thing that sticks out to me the most is the high reps. The high reps and high success. Oftentimes at a practice, if you go to watch a practice, there's one ball and there's 14 kids in line, and over an hour, how many of those minutes did your son actually get a rep? Probably like 2 to 3. The thing that I've noticed about Legends, naturally, is that whether it be the coach to the player ratios, I haven't seen a line back up more than like 7 kids in the 3 camps that I've seen. And additionally, hitting a baseball with a bat at a young age is hard to do, right? And there's different levels that attend the camp. But when I see the tennis racket, when I see the big beach ball out there, and I see more balls flying onto the field versus into the back net, that's keeping the kids having fun, engaged, learning, as opposed to like, a T-ball, for instance, is you get one ball, you get one kid, everybody's running to the ball. The more action, Legends creates such an action-packed environment, good energy, you got the music going, you got the guys with the loudspeakers with some good character on it, and yeah, he'll be excited. He might throw his arm out over there on that game, but he'll be joining Legends for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. All right, last question. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked to Jason. One actionable, simple piece of advice for any parent that wants to have a baseball-loving boy into their teenage years and beyond. Mm-hmm. You've already hit on so many good things, so it's tough. Yeah. But one specific thing.
You got to make it fun. You have to make it enjoyable, and you just want to build up the human being through sport. And that's simply it. Is the more environments you can put them in, whether that's at home with silly drills or an obstacle course, like you just want to build them up to say, that was fun. I want to do that again, Mom. And as a parent, you love to hear that because they enjoyed the situation you put them in already.
John, you do some incredible work with all kinds of athletes locally, maybe outside the area. Where can people learn more about some of the work and some of the services that you offer for young adults and kids?
Yeah, appreciate that. JohnKarsich.com it's my website, kind of has everything laid out there. There you'll find I have a podcast that pops out 3 days a week that are like 2-minute long for just short, actionable tips of what to improve on mental-wise, recruiting-wise, baseball-wise. Probably my biggest social is Instagram, @JohnKarsich, and you'll be able to find everything there. Appreciate it.
Let's give a warm round of applause for John Karsich, everybody.
Oh, wow, look at this.
I want to take a